Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of our show. We have a brand new guest today, and tomorrow her husband will also be on the show. Uh, this young lady's name is Denise, and I want to make jokes, but I don't know her that well yet. Although we met on Alignable, I always talk about Alignable. She does a nonprofit. Denise, introduce yourself to our audience and maybe tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? What kind of education do you have? That kind of stuff.
Okay. Hi everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. This is being taped for Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day. And my name is Denise. I am the executive director of Cibus Mission. Cibus is Latin for sustenance, and we believe in sustenance for all. It's a very new nonprofit. I got it, the 501c3 in 2023. And we have been able to last year give away 17,000 food items, 2,000 over 2,000 meals. We helped two veteran families that had a fire in their house. So we gave them diapers and hygiene kits and some clothes and some other things just to get them by for
How do you,
a
how
couple of days.
how do you do that? How do you manage to be able to? Are you partnering with companies that maybe pick up food at restaurants or something, or what?
So we partner with one or two grocery stores. We
Okay,
also have a in the nonprofit world, there is a lot of middlemen.
okay,
So one of them helps me get the items that we need at a much lower rate, at a much lower cost.
so you
So
have to pay. You have to pay for the food.
we
You have to
don't
pay
have to
something, a
we
discounted
don't have
price.
pay for the food. We have to pay for the hygiene kit, the other items we get. But we do take the food items from the places, they're called rescue food items because they're about to expire. So what we do
Okay,
is take them and we put them in different blessing boxes. That's what they call it here in Maryland. We're in Maryland.
okay, okay.
And in Maryland, they have these boxes that are on mail posts, and it's kind of like little libraries out in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
West.
free library thing,
Free
yeah.
libraries, yes, but instead of books, they have food items and hygiene kits that you can put in there.
Okay.
So we go around and drive around the area. I want to say we've gone up to 50-mile radius and just dropping off food to the different uh, blessing boxes because
Yeah.
there are places here where it takes a long time to get to a supermarket. So people have to walk long distances, or they have to take a bike, or they have to take the buses aren't here in most of the area. There's only certain spots that the buses go through.
So you must be in a quasi-rural area then.
Yeah, it's on the western side, so it's closer to Pennsylvania and West Virginia.
Okay.
So yeah, that's more rural.
Okay. I just learned that Maryland and West Virginia, Pennsylvania actually border each other.
Yes, yes. And one of the problems in this area that I learned about when I moved here was that it has quite a high poverty rate of 22% versus the national average is 12.5. And in the
Good
state of
God.
Maryland, it's only 9.5. So
But
it's
that
very
area, yeah,
it
I'm
needs
I'm
it.
always that's one of the reasons I do this stuff. I find out stuff that I never would have imagined. Like I always think of Maryland as a rather prosperous state, and boy,
It
okay,
depends on
so
where you're at. So on the eastern side, it's right next to Washington, D.C., Virginia, and
okay,
those are the bordering areas on that side, and that's
okay.
the east. closer to the eastern side. So that area is more prosperous because everybody that works in Washington, D.C. usually can't
Li-
afford Washington, D.C.
So they live over there.
So
Yeah.
they live in Maryland. But other times you have a lot of attorneys that work in Washington, D.C. And then they live in Bethesda and the Germantown and all,
Right.
Montgomery County.
Okay.
PG County is also a very good, thriving area. But
Okay.
here in Washington County, which is towards the western side, it doesn't have that because it takes
Oh,
about an hour and a half to get to Washington, D.C. So most people
I'll
don't
be
drive
darned.
that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So you started this nonprofit. How long ago? Would you say less than a year or not? Or
No, I want to say a little over 2 years.
okay.
So before we can have our 501c3, we have to be incorporated by the state. So I did that
Okay.
in April of 2023. But before that, we were already filling blessing boxes. We were already doing our thing. So what
Okay.
happened was that it was during the pandemic that I moved to this area and I saw a huge need. And I didn't understand it at first why there was such a big need, but with the numbers and everything, I started to get it. I was in the 9.5% area of poverty, and then I moved over to the 22%. I was like, oh my God, there's a big difference here. And so when I came here, I started to put food items in the blessing boxes without anybody telling me. And it was my own cans and my own stuff.
Right.
And then I wanted to provide meals for people. I wanted to make meals. And at the same time, I didn't want to get sued because in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
United States, if someone gets sick, then they can sue you. But
Yeah.
under the nonprofit rule, there's a Good Samaritan law. And that Good Samaritan law kind of protects nonprofits and 501c3s from getting sued because they get sick from some food. Knock on wood, nobody's ever said that. I wash my hands every time. And all of the meals, everybody said that it's
Oh
been good.
boy.
We've made beef empanadas, we've made
Mm.
fried chicken, we've made a whole bunch of we've made sandwiches. Just nobody got sick that I know of.
So I have a. I might interrupt you sometimes because I forget my questions. Uh, so some of this food you're getting from the grocery store, and then you're making things in your own kitchen
Yes, that is
and
correct.
putting it in. Huh? Is that
Yes.
okay?
We
And
make food
putting
and sometimes we put it into the blessing boxes, but other times we have a table that's right in front of our house and people can just come up and pick up the food.
okay,
So
okay,
we package it up and we put it in a little bag and we have it ready.
right, right, okay. And
And
then go ahead.
oh yeah, I just wanted to say that also as a result of becoming a 501c3, we were able to partner with places like Panera Bread as well. And every week we can go there and pick up their leftover bread from that day.
Very
So
nice.
we've been able to help veteran mental support groups and provide pastries for them at a monthly basis. And we've been able to fill the blessing boxes with more food as a result. We've been able to make sandwiches with the bread. So we've been using it. We've been very excited about being able to share with everyone.
That's there's so many wonderful. We're gonna have to do this same show again so I can put in the other questions that I'm missing. I have about a
Okay.
thousand questions now. Um, well, okay. Remind me if you think of it to ask you about the blessing boxes. But before we get there, I want to mention a guy, a family in I think they're Minnesota or Wisconsin, who
Hmm.
works with mentally ill veterans, and he's also on Alignable.
Okay.
And it just seems like eventually I should remember to connect you guys in case you can help each other. You know, so yeah,
I'll
his
make a
name
note
is
of it.
Kurt. I want to tell you his name because I'll forget that I
Hmm.
said this. Kurt Roskoff, Kopf, I
COTA.
think. Yeah, and him and his wife Suzanne and their virtual assistant Emily Golmer
Hmm.
do a bunch of TV shows, a bunch of podcasts, like
Okay.
one every day of the week.
Oh, very
Literally,
cool.
Emily puts out the schedule every week, and I would, let's pitch them on getting you on their show.
Sounds good.
So I didn't even know that would just remind me if you think of it. So these blessing boxes, did you and your husband make those, or were they there
No,
before you got there?
my husband can make them because you'll see tomorrow that he is a jack of all trades.
Okay.
But they were already there. They already
Okay.
had them there. We
Now,
just felt
who do
there's
you
a
think
lot
put
of
them
them.
up? One of the churches or what?
They're called blessing boxes, I think, because originally the churches would put them up in the area, but they have other names. They have mini pantries, food boxes. There's a bunch of different names. And lots of people put them just make them and just put them around the area.
Okay, and how big is a box like that?
So it's about the size of a kitchen cabinet.
What does that mean? Since I'm a dumb white guy, I don't think I've ever been in a kitchen. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So there are various sizes to kitchen cabinets, as you know, and they have those various sizes
So
all
it
over
could
the
be like
place.
2x4 or something,
It could be
or
it's
different.
2 by
Yeah.
4, 2 by 3, or deeper or taller. It just depends.
And you can't, there's no way to put frozen food in there. You have to just put in the fresh food, right?
We have to put in either fresh food or
Non
food that is
perishable food.
exactly non-perishable. So, instant soups. We have these Nutri shakes. Is that what they call?
Oh,
Or
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
shakes
yeah.
that they have.
Yep,
Those
yep,
are those are useful.
yep.
Um, Things that are individually wrapped,
Okay.
and then we can distribute it out.
Okay. Now,
Except
I
for the
always,
bread. Then we wrap the bread. We put the bread in bags and then we tie it and then we put it out there.
right. Okay. And, okay. Um, Now I got so many questions. I can't remember any one of them
Can
to
I
ask.
tell you something? I would like
Yes,
to. Yes.
please. Yes.
So this year I'm really excited. We're launching our youth urban farm and bike repair program.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
I-
I think we better do a show once a day instead of once every week or
It's
two
a
weeks
lot that
a
we
week.
do, but it's just there's a lot of things that I want to do because it's
Yeah.
necessary. And I am a mom of three boys and I homeschool.
Okay.
So my
Okay.
focus has always been on STEM, science, tech, engineering, math, learning.
Right.
And
Right.
I really believe in hands-on learning. You learn by doing, right?
Okay.
So that's always been one of the things that I really like my kids to learn about. So the oldest now is actually doing Python coding and he's
He's
13.
doing what?
Python coding?
Oh, Python coding. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I have
Mm-hmm.
I have heard about that on like TikTok and stuff. People talk about it. So,
Yeah, Chat GPT,
oh yeah, I use
that's what they
AI
use.
sometimes. Yeah.
That's what they use in the back
Okay.
end to make that stuff work. But he's not
Okay.
at that level. He's just taking his beginning classes on that
He's
just to
yeah, he's
learn.
getting there fast. So yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he'll get there eventually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eventually. He still plays Roblox all the time, which is like a video game.
Yeah. Okay. That's all.
Definitely a boy.
Very
And
cool.
yeah, and so what I wanted to do with this program is give kids the opportunity to find pride in workmanship, enjoy the outdoors, have a sense to say, hey, I grew this myself. Do you know how cool it is? Like my son, when he first grew his first uh, potatoes, it was potatoes that time. He pulled it out and he said, look, mom, look what I made. We have to try this. We have to try. What are we going to try it in? And I said, we can make a soup. Yes. And so it was, and to this
Aw,
day, like
that is precious.
Oh, and it was cool because I didn't have to make him want to eat his vegetables. He wanted
Right.
to because
Good.
he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the whole part of making it. He enjoyed where it came. He understood better why it
Right.
was so
Right.
cool to eat your vegetables.
Very
I didn't have
nice.
to explain
Good.
anything. And it's
Wow.
not like we're not
Mm.
people like almond mom or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
Oreos, we
Yeah.
have chips. We're not one
I
of those.
understand.
We don't do that. We
No,
will eat junk food all day.
we're
That's
real
but
people.
donuts are my jam. But
Yeah.
at the same time, but at the same time with my son, he likes to have salmon. He likes to have, he says, now he says fiber, but he used to say he likes broccoli and corn. And these are just
Okay.
vegetables that he likes because he enjoys it. And one
Right.
of the things that I feel is missing in schools and in education in general is that sense of ownership
Okay.
and
Very
that sense
nice.
of pride in doing something and making something your own.
Okay.
And
Very nice.
with the bike program, we were fortunate enough um to get through, like I said, through those middlemen that I told you at the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
able to get 30 bicycles that were new but slightly damaged in shipping. And with those, what I want to do is make a program. We're going to make a program for the kids to learn how to fix the bicycle. And at
Okay.
the end of the program, they get to keep it.
Right.
But for that, we need to get the materials and the tools and the parts in
Yeah.
order for them to fix it. We're
Yeah.
working on it. We're trying to get
No, no.
funding.
I lived in San Jose for about 50 years, and they have two nonprofits that do that.
Really?
Because people, a lot of people in all parts of the United States just do not have the money for a car.
It's
Some people don't
expensive.
have the money for a bus,
It is
so
expensive.
yeah.
And I can tell
So
you a story about that maybe another
oh,
time. But
okay, but
I have a story
yeah.
about that.
All right. Well, you can either tell it or not now if you want. Go ahead and tell it.
I'll try. Okay. So I moved back to the States. My parents retired when I was 14 and they moved to Honduras, to Central America. And I was there for about 10 years. That's where I met my husband. And then we came back. And when we came back, we didn't have a job. We didn't have anything, but we were lucky enough to have family members that let us stay there for a couple months till we
Right.
got our first check and then to pay the rent. And while we were there, we had to take public transportation. And one of the times that I was, there living, I really wanted a McDonald's. I wanted a McDonald's. And my husband's like,
Good
okay,
luck.
let's go, you know?
Yeah.
And then
No.
we go there, but it's closed. The dining room area is closed. And I ask if I can go, and they say, no, it's the drive-through. You can't go through here. So we had to walk back. And I didn't
Yeah.
get my
Yeah.
McDonald's. But my
Yeah. No.
husband,
It's yeah.
being the sweetheart that he is, and he's just a wonderful guy. Um, the following week, he surprised me with two bicycles for us. One for him, one for
Oh.
me. Yes. And he said, "Okay, we can go now." And it was such a freeing and independent experience because now I didn't have to depend on the bus routes or the times.
Right. Right.
And then again, I wanted a McDonald's after the I'm a big McDonald's person. Okay. Um, all right. I should admit that. But we went, and this time they let us go through because we had transportation. We had a way to get
Okay.
there. And so I
All
said,
right.
wow, this is awesome. Okay. And we
Very
were able to
nice.
get that, we were able to go to the grocery store and get better stuff because people don't think about it that buying a
No.
car isn't just buying a car, it's
No.
getting your driver's license. We hadn't gotten our driver's license yet
Right.
because we were from another country and we hadn't gotten it
Right.
here.
Right.
So we had to get insurance. You have to have a registration. A
Yeah.
registration requires insurance. Your car, you have to pay for the, and that's not even thinking about the car yet. And then you have to find a car that you can afford. And and if you want to get a car from a dealership, then you have to have credit So it's just so many
Yeah,
obstacles
yeah,
in order to
yeah,
get a car. So we
yeah,
learned really fast Crazy Rays, which is a junkyard.
yeah.
It's a picker place. So we got a used car that could only have like when we finally got a car, it only the transmission wasn't working on it, but we became regulars at Crazy Rays.
Wow. Shout
Things
out
that
to
you
Crazy
learn.
Rays. We'll have to have him on the show. That's beautiful though. And people in the States don't aren't very compassionate with people that are under income. I as I say on almost every show, I grew up poor. We had an outhouse, we had kerosene lamps. It just until my dad could afford better. We did get stuff better later. We had a chemical toilet later, and then later than that, he put in a septic tank. But I've been that way all my life. I've ridden the bus a lot. I find it hard. I don't drive for about the last 10 years, but I've had cars, but they've always been used cars that needed a
Yep,
lot of repair, and
me too.
just we just try to get by as best we can. So, give us your contact information that you want the public to have, because I would like people to consider donating to your 501c3.
Thank you.
And obviously, when you do donate that way, it's tax deductible. So
Yes.
instead of paying your taxes, giving the money to the government, you can give it to a group that helps feed people. So give
Yes.
us what contact information you'd like us to have.
So our website is above my head.
Right.
And
Cibusmission.org.
it yes, slash community to see all our community work that we do. And you can
Right.
also reach us at info@cibusmission.org. That's
Okay.
the
Very
email.
nice. Very
And
beautiful.
that's it. And my name's
Okay.
Denise, and it's wonderful to meet you all. And have a great day.
All right. Are we done today, you think, or not?
I think so.
All right. So we'll do this and then we'll see you folks next time. We've been visiting with Denise of Cibus Mission. She's got a
Yes.
big heart, as you can see, and quite energetic. How many people in your volunteer group?
So it varies. We have a lot of online volunteers, and they're awesome. They're amazing people.
Okay.
People that have helped us with the branding, which is over here.
Okay.
People that have helped us improve the website every day. It's improving. Helped us with ads. So we have about, but they help and then they go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 10 10
Okay.
volunteers about.
Okay. Now, just so you know up front that this show is not long enough yet to be on the TV.
That's fine.
Is that okay? All right. Because
Should it be longer?
well, no, it doesn't have to
No,
be. But
it's okay.
if we go another 6 minutes, we can then at least try to get it on the network. Otherwise, it'll just go on YouTube.
That's fine.
All
I
right.
think
All
we're
right.
okay for the first time.
Very nice. All right, folks. And like I
Yeah.
say, Denise's husband, Jose, is going to be on the show tomorrow. So, and then I think Thursday the kids are going to be on. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Playing video games
You'll
on
you'll
Twitch.
meet the whole family eventually.
Yeah, probably will.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Please take care.
All right, you do the same. Have a
All
good
right.
one.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye bye. Okay. Stay on the screen for me.